Today, I'm going to take 3 of the Crimson King structure decks and build a solid deck profile with it in today's deck build challenge. On top of that, I've got combos for you using only those cards. It is a lot more challenging, that is for sure. So make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button, hit subscribe, ding that notification bell, and I'm going to show you guys my build and how to combo with it. Okay, let's go with the deck list first, starting off with Triple Soul Resonator. This is your 1-card combo. It searches into your Bone Archfiend as your key primary target, but if it's not Bone Archfiend, then you can search for our other Resonator cards, but it searches for a level 4 lower Fiend type monster, which is very generic, but it does lock you into Dark Synchro monsters. And in the grave, as you control a Red Dragon Archfiend, then you get to protect all of your cards from card effect destruction by, well, substituting it. Then, in this version of the deck, we're playing Triple Vision Resonator. Very essential card because you want to get the Crimson Gaia. If you can find a way to toss this card into the graveyard without burning your normal summon, it's great. Sometimes you have to normal summon out this card just to go into your Wild Wind, and then you can perform your synchro summons from there and just try to extend at that particular point. But I think this is just a necessity, and you gotta find a way to add back to your hand, because if you control a level 5 or higher dark monster, you get to special summon this from your hand. It does not activate, which is a form of extension. So if you pair it with Synchron Resonator, that's probably the card that you would probably go for first. And we have our big combo piece that should not get negated, which is Crimson Resonator. This card summons out 2 more Resonator if you only control 1 Dark Synchro monster on the field, or Dark Synchro Dragon, exactly. And so you can get 2 more Resonator, which would be like your Synchron Resonator, or all the Resonators that you did not activate, which include these, Synchron Resonator, play 2. The Synchron, or rather the Resonator engine, is more or less the same, because these are the best ones. We're playing the ones that do not brick, we're playing the ones that contain special summon, or they generate more and more monster, or functions as a 1-card combo. And then we have the Fiend type monsters that are non-tuners. We have Triple Wandering King Wildwind, non-once per turn free special summon if you control a Fiend tuner that's 1500 attack or less. This is not once per turn, does not activate, and provides you with Follow It. I think it's one of the best monsters in this particular deck. Unfortunately, if your opponent knows how to play against you, then they're going to get rid of all your tuners, and you can't special summon this one out, so hopefully they don't know what to do. Then there is Triple Bone Archfiend. This card in particular, super strong. It's more or less a Foolish Barrel, and I mentioned that we need Foolish Barrel with this deck, and this is your Foolish Barrel. You have 3 of it, but they could have given us a Foolish Barrel to put this card into the graveyard, just so that we get a better chance of, successfully comboing, and it changes levels. It's quite important to avoid level 7, because this particular structure deck does not come with a level 7. You don't get your Koi Belt, you don't get your Ancient Pixie Dragon. There's a lot of limitations, and yeah, you don't get that. Now, I need to find ways to fill the deck now. This is the hard part. That part was easy. This is the hard part. You need to find extenders that do not burn your normal summon, so I'm going for Chupacabra. If you miss, you get to draw a card and summon this card out as your non-tuner, so that's why I chose to keep the Chupacabra, even though I'm not playing any of the other monsters. Continuing on, this deck does not come with any hand trap, does not come with Belt, does not come with Veiler. You only get Battle Fader, so if you're playing Edison or anything like that, I mean, you got a reprint of Battle Fader, but if you're playing against like for Vanquish Soul or some deck that does not have like a negate but have really good control, you can summon out a Battle Fader to skip their battle phase and maybe get the clap back. But it's very hard to get a proper clap back because you don't have a lot of disruption. Your disruptions are based off of your end board, and if you're rebuilding an end board is definitely not going to be as easy. And here's the last 2 monsters. This is a 41 card deck. We have Ascanter Dawnwalker and Ascanter Fire Ant. They should have just made the Supe, because Supe is a Fiend, so that you can actually stay within the Fiend realm instead, and it's a searchable card, and it goes into a level 6, which will play into the Red Rising. I don't know why we're skipping all the way into the Red Dragon Archfiend, which does not provide you with the same level, but there are still some combos you can perform with this. Anyways, moving on to the spell cards, we have Crimson Gaia, Crimson Gaia, Crimson Gaia. Search for your Soul Resonator, search for your Fiendish Golem, search for your Red Zone. Very useful card, and like it's just more copies of this, essentially. More Resonator calls. Resonator call not once per turn, which is like great, classic Rhoda. Triple Pot of Extravagance, because it's the only draw card we have that comes with the deck, and it also dictated how we built our extra deck. 1 copy of Burning Soul. This card would have been so much better, but if you're just playing within the build itself, hitting a level 8 or higher synchro monster is not the easiest thing within competitive play, which is why I only chose 1, because I can pair with another trap card. But aside from that, it's really good to add a level 8 and maybe go into Hot Red Dragon Calamity. because it's one of the few ways that you can access, I guess, synchro summons during your opponent's turn. Into the trap cards, 1 red zone, mainly for red Supernova Dragon, but there are alternatives where if you're playing under a shifter, the red zone is the MVP card automatically. 2 copies of Fiendish Golem, because this card is not once per turn. That's kind of neat, so it can help you take care of some of the Unchained Dogs. It can slow down the gameplay. Remember, you have to force your opponent to play to your tempo. We have 1 Fiendish Chain for the Fiendish Golem to search out, whether it be from the graveyard or from the deck. I need additional removal. We have 2 copies of Terrors of the Overroot, so that we can swap away your opponent's cards and special summon, or just set one of the back rows back and reduce the value of whatever cards that they have. And finally, we have Time to Stand Up. I want to put this card in the graveyard more than anything, because if I can put this card into the graveyard, at the very least, I know I can banish this card to get an additional negation. That I just want to negate a card and just boost the attack. And I do want to leave a level 10 or higher Dark Synchro monster if possible, but at worst, this card will provide you with 2 Resonator monster if you can get a Soul Resonator plus a Vision. Soul plus Vision is pretty good because Vision will fetch you another card, Soul immediately gets you another card, or you can go Synchron Resonator and you can fetch back something from the graveyard. So that's why you still play this card. I think it's still decent value. Okay, extra deck, there's really not too much to explain here. First of all, triple red Rising Dragon. It's just one of your key combo starters. Then you have Scarlight, just 1 copy. You just use this just in case you lose out all your names. 2 copies of Scar Red. You can maybe play a 3rd copy if you think it's the most necessary card, and maybe skip out on Scarlet. But Scarlet provides you a little bit of burn, so everyone should have a little bit of burn in their deck. 2 copies of Red Dragon Archfiend, just so the Scar Red has something. And if you have to banish a bunch of cards, at least you still have Red Dragon. 2 copies of Hot Red, because in case one gets banished. 2 copies of Bane, because this is your 10 and helps you revive your dragons. And sometimes you don't really often go into this, which is this one is a 1-up Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity, so you can turn off all your opponent's entire turn and maybe go for the OTK. But we're gonna play 2 copies of Red Supernova Dragon because we want to put this onto the field when we can, and it's a great way to disrupt your opponent, and it's also one of the cards that's a little bit more protected. Okay, it's combo time. Okay, so this is the Soul Resonator combo. It's technically 1.5 cards, so we're going to put in Time to Stand Up as the additional card. It doesn't matter if you start with Crimson Gaia, it doesn't matter if you start with Resonator Call. If you only have access to just 1 monster, Soul Resonator is the one that you want. And this is how it's going to go. Normal summon out the Soul Resonator, activate the effect, get Bone Archfiend. Activate Bone Archfiend's effect, send the additional card, Time to Stand Up. This is one of your more ideal cards to put into the grave, or it's either that or Vision Resonator. Special summon out the Bone Archfiend. Activate Bone Archfiend's effect, reduce the level of one of these cards by foolishing into the graveyard a Crimson Resonator if you don't have it, and then reduce the level of your monsters. Next, we're going to Synchro Summon into Red Rising Dragon. Red Rising Dragon's effect, we're going to target our Crimson Resonator and special summon onto the field. Now that we only control a Dark Dragon Synchro, we're going to activate the Crimson Resonator effect, and we're going to special summon out any of the Resonator except for Soul, since Soul has been burned. So we're going to go for Vision, and we're going to go for Synchron Resonator. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to synchro it off Red and the Vision, so we get the additional search into Scar Red Dragon Archfiend. So if this card gets removed off the field, at least we'll get another monster right back into the field. In this case, we're going to activate Vision Resonator's effect, and we're going to use that to add Crimson Gaia. If you use Crimson Gaia to start your combo, then you can immediately add the thing that Crimson Gaia was going to add anyway, or you can use Crimson Gaia to add to the additional body, because that's, also another option. But right now, we're going to add Crimson Gaia's effect. In this case, because we don't have any sort of banish-based dragon and we're not under D-Shifter, our best bet is to add the Fiendish Golem, because Fiendish Golem will provide you with a little bit of protection, and you can use this to hit your own monsters as well. So if you need to bypass some chain links or stop a Dark Ruler, you can hit your own cards and negate your opponent's stuff. So that's how you can kind of work it out. From here, we're going to Synchro with the Scar Red and the Synchron Resonator, and we're going to go into our Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. That's going to start a double chain link here. Chain link 1, we're going to go with the Scar Red Dragon Archfiend. Chain link 2, Synchron Resonator, or you can reverse the chain link because this one's a little bit hard to stop anyway. In this particular case, we're going to add to our hand the Vision Resonator, and then we're going to summon out the Red Dragon Archfiend, thanks to Scarlet's effect. And if your opponent has monsters on the field, it all gets nuked at this point because you synchroed it off. And now you can special summon out the Vision Resonator, and you can synchro away the Red Dragon Archfiend because it's gonna blow up your board, and you're gonna be forced to banish your Soul Resonator. And from here, you get to go into Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane, because now you go into a 10, activate the effect of Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane, tribute off the Vision Resonator, special summon back your Scar Red Dragon Archfiend. Therefore, you have a Red Dragon Archfiend on the field. So, in terms of disruption, let's give it a count here. You have Hot Red Dragon Archfiend rested as your Omni on field, Veiler, anything on the board. You have Scar Red Dragon Archfiend, and that's going to count to summon out another Red Dragon Archfiend straight from the extra deck when it's removed. You have Fiendish Golem. In terms of Fiendish Golem, you can use it as a monster removal, and then you get to set a Fiendish Chain. You also have an additional negation. In this particular case, you have Time to Stand Up, so that's another monster negation. Crimson Gaia will help you revive one of your dragons if anything gets destroyed by card effect, and you have protection from card effect destruction through Soul Resonator. So these are your options. Dark Ruler is going to be something that you can definitely bypass. Okay, this is the second combo. This one here is the out of the box. No Uvaoloop, no Dissipator. Dissipator definitely makes things a lot easier when you just special summon them back. But in this case, here we go. So starting things off, we're going to special summon out the Crimson Resonator, and then we're going to normal summon out the Bone Archfiend. This thing is quite crucial, and we're immediately just going to synchro summon into our Red Rising Dragon. Activate the effect, special summon back the Crimson Resonator, activate the effect of Crimson Resonator, and we're going to summon the two ultra rares, Vision and Soul. Soul's going to activate, get Synchron, special summon out the Synchron Resonator, and we're going to take the Red Rising and the Vision Resonator and synchro summon into our Scar Red Dragon Archfiend. Effect of Vision Resonator, we're going to add the Crimson Gaia. Crimson Gaia effect, this time we're definitely adding Red Zone. Okay, so we have the Red Zone now. We're going to activate the effect of Bone Archfiend in the graveyard. We're going to send away our Crimson Gaia, and we're going to summon out the Bone Archfiend. Bone Archfiend effect, we're going to reduce the level of Scar Red Dragon Archfiend to 7. Okay, we're going to reduce that level, and we're going to toss into the graveyard our second copy of Synchron Resonator. And now we're going to take our Bone Archfiend and our Crimson Resonator, which is another 6, and we get to special summon again into Red Rising Dragon. Red Rising Dragon effect, yeah, that's right, it's not once per turn, and we're going to special summon out the Synchron Resonator. So this is a 7 and a 3, right? 7 and a 3, that makes 10, plus 1, that's 11, plus 1, that's 12, and we're going to take all of these, synchro summon Super Red Nova Dragon, and we have Red Zone to pair with it, which means we get to nuke the board twice. But let's activate this huge chain link here. We're gonna go chain link 1, chain link 2, chain link 3. These are the chain links here, so that we could add back a bunch of cards. So special summoning out our favorite Red Dragon Archfiend. Okay, that's the chain link 3. Chain link 2, we have Synchron Resonator, and we're going to use that to add back our Vision Resonator. And then we have Synchron Resonator number 2, Crimson Resonator, and in this case we're going to special summon out the Vision Resonator because we have not special summoned it from our hand. We're going to synchro away it with the Red Dragon Archfiend. That allows us to special summon out our Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane. Red Rising Dragon doesn't do much here, so we're going to activate the effect of Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane, and we're going to send that to the graveyard, and we're going to special summon back our Scar Red Dragon Archfiend. So in this particular case, the 2-card combo led to us keeping 1 card in our hand, having a Red Zone on the field. So let's actually count Disruption and Follow-Up. Of course, we have the double board nuke right here. We have an additional pop thanks to the Red Zone being, accessible here. We have protection from card destruction through Red Resonator, and because we have both level 1 Resonators in the graveyard, we can activate Red Rising Dragon and just special summon both of these back onto the field, retrieving any of our Resonators that we really need. And we also have Crimson Resonator in hand as an additional follow-up. So yeah, this is not too bad. And we also have Bone Archfiend to send a card away so that we can well, more or less get, the Bone Archfiend back onto the field. So that's what this particular version of the combo comes with. Sure, we don't have the Hot Red in this case, but if we did, it would be even better. And that's all I got for this video. Now, a last little bit of advice. I would say Terrors of the Overroot and Fiendish Golem are your your best way to gain control over, the turn. Use these cards to help you survive, clear out and force out all the biggest disruption so that you can use like Scar Red Dragon Archfiend to nuke your opponent's board, or you can even use Scar Light Red Dragon Archfiend to, nuke all the special summon monster. Just find some way to nuke the board and then attack for game, because this deck is really, really aggressive and you can definitely take advantage of that. And if you guys enjoyed this, deck build challenge, budget deck profile, $30. Well, hit that thumbs up button if you guys want to see more stuff from MST.TV. So I'm going to be wanting to jump back to competitive builds and doing live duels once again because our studio has finally finished. And over at OCG Land, we did pick up a bunch of these OCG cards that you guys might be caring about, and we want to definitely give them a try, at the first chance we get. Also, you Patreons out there, thank you for your support. Your bonus is available. Just check out the Patreon page and you guys can definitely go download it there or on Discord. And by the way, guys, my Twitter handle has changed. It's MST_Tombox now, so it's a little bit easier, not the Tombox creation. But guys, thank you for following. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. And until next time, don't forget to hold on to MST.TV, and hopefully you'll top your next event when we give you more, meta advice.